Howdy the fuck y'all, welcome to episode 2 of me drawing and talking about nothing basically. I don't actually have a script, so if at any point it sounds like I'm rambling on about nothing, it's probably because I have no idea what I'm saying. Anyways, oh right, disclaimer, I cuss a lot. So if you're not into that, please exit out of the browser or app or microwave or whatever thing that you use to watch this. See, I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it where I sound stoned as shit. I swear to God, I'm not fucking stoned, or at least not to my knowledge. Anyways, on today's episode, which is probably gonna take an hour long for me to actually say anything of value, we are going to talk about art styles. Yep, fucking art style. Here's the thing. Every artist who start out, every new artist try to have this, they tend to have this problem of trying to find a style. And I say new artists, not young artists, because you could be 80 and start as an artist. But yeah, it's a common trend that I see in new artists that they are trying to find their style. And the thing is, it's not a your art style is not a thing that happens actively. It's the thing that happens kind of in the background. When you start out as a new artist, what you should understand is it helps to experiment. The fact that you are trying to box yourself into this one style and go on from there is very limited. Me personally, every time I draw, I experiment with something. Which is why I never have a tutorial, because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing, because my art changes every time I draw it. With that being said, there are really good things that happen when you experiment. There is some kind of misconception about you have to have an art style. That's not true. You could just not have an art style. Like, if you draw, that is your art style. If you draw at all, then that is an art style. The way you draw something or the way you interpret stuff is already a style. So it is very helpful if beginner artists would stop trying to box themselves into this one little thing of drawing ABC a certain way and experiment with everything, so that they're able to pick and choose what they like out of everything. When I draw, I like to draw eyes, I like to draw lips, and that is coming from me drawing so many different styles that I am able to pick and choose what I think or what I find to be pleasing. And it's not even a conscious thing, it's a subconscious thing that when you draw something and you draw it over and over and over, you tend to find a rhythm in the way you draw. And you don't have to force yourself to I'm drawing Dopo, is that his name? I'm not using reference, so I have no idea what he looks like, but you know. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. Art style. You don't have to consciously look for an art style when you draw. If you start out a drawing and you experiment with every style. I went from cartoony, I went from like fucking straight up big eyes anime to really cartoony, and then I found a kind of in between where it incorporates the kind of realistic proportion of semi-realism and the exaggerated features of cartoon style, and then, you know, a little bit of anime, because everyone who looks at my art, especially old Asian people, be like, is that Sailor Moon? So I'm like, okay, I guess my style is anime. But as I was saying, you know, you had to experiment with things in order to find your style, and you don't even have to proactively find your style. It's just a thing that happens. An art style develops from repeated routine. An art style is basically your hand saying, this is the way that I like to do a certain thing. The way I draw eyes, and the way I draw limbs, and the way I draw everything is from drawing in all kind of styles. I keep on saying styles, but like drawing in all kind of techniques, and then whichever feels the most comfortable to me is the thing that I repeat. And because I do it so much, it becomes familiar. And when you're familiar with something in this fucking routine, you could call it a fucking style. What am I saying exactly? Oh yeah, all I'm saying is that to all new artists out there who are concerned with finding your artistic style, I recommend that you stop thinking about it and just draw. And the way you draw and the way you like to draw will eventually develop into what people call a style. And to this day, I really don't have like a solid art style because I'm always jumping around and then drawing stuff, but there is a consistency in the inconsistency, in the way that you will see that there are certain ways I draw certain things, and that could be you too. You could experiment. You should experiment. And through experimenting, you would just subconsciously find that some things are not as easy and some things are easier than other things. And it'll be something that you like to draw. And that would be your little thing, you know, that'll be your signature style that nobody can take away from you, because it's a process of learning, you know. I sound so fucking stoned right now, huh? Yep. You know what's a good idea? If I should just keep talking about absolutely nothing, so I could have something to do while I draw. Wouldn't that be a great idea? But yeah, to quote Gusteau in Ratatouille, food always comes to those who love to cook. Well, an art style will always come to those who love to draw. Yeehaw!